We've spoke to Louis de Cubas, we want that fight. I understand they have a mandatory, which they're talking about taking, but Fundora is actually the guy that Boots wants most next. That's the fight that he said, if I had any preference, I would want Fundora next.
In a bold statement of intent, Eddie Hearn and Jaron Boots Ennis have thrown down the gauntlet, officially targeting unified champion Sebastian Fundora for a blockbuster showdown at 154 pounds.
Question, champ.
Yo.
Who you want, man?
I want Fundora. Bring on that tall, what is he, tall tower or whatever?
Tall Inferno.
We're gonna chop him down easy.
Backing up the challenge, Boots Ennis confirmed that his son is strictly targeting Sebastian Fundora, leaving no doubt that Boots is fully locked in on taking the unified champions belts next.
Oh, well, they said Fundora.
Boots Ennis also highlights how Boots can beat him, emphasizing that standard pressure won't be enough to break through that massive reach. He points out that the true strategy lies in tactical deception, flipping the script to draw the taller fighter out of his comfort zone and force mistakes.
Guys is tall and box. They normally don't have to move and come after nobody. The guys normally come to them. So you gotta switch up sometime. Make them come to you and set them up. You know what I mean? Even though you're supposed to box your way in and go to the body and the head, sometimes you gotta switch it up though. You know what I mean? You can't be doing what they think you're gonna do. Do stuff that they don't think you're gonna do. You know what I mean?
He didn't stop there and highlighted his defensive flaw, a dangerous habit that opens the door for a game-changing landed punch. Boots outlines the exact strategy needed, explaining how fluid multi-punch combinations can exploit those split-second gaps to set up a fight-ending blow.
You gotta put them punches together when you're fighting a guy like Fundora. You know what I mean? Then later on, you stick that shot in and try to take him out. You know what I mean? That right hand, you know what I mean? Every time Fundora fights, he drops his hands. He's so tall, he drops his hands. That's when you slide in and drop down and come up top, boom, with the right hand and left hook behind it. Not just one shot, you know what I mean? Just in case you miss with the right hand. But you gotta get in. You gotta get in sometime. You know what I mean? There's sometime I would switch up. You know what I mean? It's frustrating. You gotta frustrate.
On the other side, Fundora is also ready to fight Boots, and confirmed that Ennis is officially at the top of his target list. The unified champion acknowledged the call-out and made it clear he expects this matchup to happen immediately.
Oh, there's a name calling me out right now, so I think Ennis would be the first one, for sure.
Fundora didn't hold back his thoughts on Ennis's recent performance, admitting he saw everything necessary in just 3 rounds to gauge his new rival's skill set. While praising the dominant 154-pound debut, Fundora signaled that he already has a read on how their clash will play out.
I guess Ennis with his last win, you know, I mean, he looked good. He looked good doing his thing. He looked like he had fun as well. So it's nice to see I mean, he's been a champion before, but a fresh face in 154. I mean, we saw that 3rd round. That was enough for me to see what I needed to see, but it'll be an entertaining fight, that's for sure.
Even before the call-outs, Boots Ennis had his eyes on Fundora and read his opponent, dismissing the champion's speed and movement while claiming supreme confidence in his own power. He framed himself as the ultimate target at 154 pounds, warning that Fundora simply won't be able to handle what he brings to the ring.
It don't matter what he do. I feel like he can't. He too slow. He don't move his head. Like, he getting better, but I'm gonna be too much for him. What I got coming to him, he not gonna be able to take. I'm saying that now. I'm the cash cow of this division. If anybody want to fight, they're gonna make the most money fighting me than anybody else. So I feel like I'm the cash cow of this division, and I'm the best of this division.
Breaking down what he has observed so far, Boots kept his assessment simple regarding Fundora's physical dimensions and aggressive inside style. He noted that while deep film study will come later, the initial read reveals a straightforward tall fighter who relies heavily on forward pressure.
I mean, I don't know. He just tall. He tall. Like I said, I don't watch him, so I can't really give you sit here and like explain. Like when the time come, I'll watch him. But as of right now, I just from this little stuff that I be seeing, it's like he's just a tall pressure fighter. From the stuff that I be seeing.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia gave a candid breakdown of Ennis, praising his elite skill set while pointing out a concerning habit of taking clean shots. He acknowledged the talent on display, but made it clear that defensively, Boots has left open windows in past outings.
Look, Boots showed the heart, the skills, the power to be able to compete and dominate against any of the top 4-pounders. But he also showed that he gets clipped and he got hurt. So him against Fundora, great fight.
But Garcia ultimately sided with Fundora, citing the towering champion's constant progression and awkward height advantage. He believes Fundora's steady evolution makes him a nightmare puzzle that Boots won't easily solve.
But I picked Fundora. Fundora it's been improving and getting better. Since he lost his fight and then became champion, he's getting better and better and better every time he fights. He's 6'8", 9", whatever, 6'9".
6'6", but still tall.
Tall model.
He hits hard, yeah.
He's got good power, and you know, he's been knocked out, but how easy?
Mendoza.
Yes, but how easy are you gonna connect? How easy are you gonna? You know, it's not gonna be easy. Plus,
Erickson Lubin had some success too.
Plus, like I said,
but he still beat him.
Yeah. But this was before he became champion. Now that he's champion, he's getting better and better and better. So I picked Fundora.
Former world champion Fernando Vargas offered a balanced perspective, acknowledging Ennis's talent while emphasizing the momentum behind the reigning champion. He feels that while Boots brings serious danger, Fundora's recent run makes him an absolute powerhouse right now.
I think Boots can get him in trouble, but I think right now that, you know, Fundora is a force to be reckoned with.
Adding his breakdown to the debate, Paulie Malignaggi sees this matchup as an unpredictable, high-stakes puzzle with no clear favorite. He highlighted how Fundora's height, leverage, and sheer power create a rare stylistic nightmare that makes picking a winner nearly impossible.
And Fundora, of course, is a very difficult guy to deal with. Listen, Fundora is going to be difficult to deal with for anybody. And so Ennis and Fundora, I really would get excited for Ennis and Fundora. That's a really good fight. And for me, that's not an easy fight for either of them. That's a tough fight to call. Fundora, listen, Fundora is an awkward fight for anybody because of the height and the power that he's got at that weight. But really, to break it down, it would be interesting, and it's a really weird, strange fight to try to figure out who has the advantage there.
Continuing his analysis, Malignaggi pointed out that Fundora has quietly plugged major holes in his defensive game following past setbacks. He believes the champion's shift toward a more patient, disciplined approach makes him far more dangerous now than ever before.
Yes. He's been knocked down, all that other stuff, and yes, a lot of blowhards will talk about that. Oh, this guy dropped and this guy hurt him, but I think Fundora's actually gotten a lot better. I think Fundora, the last couple of fights, has really looked a lot better. He's less hittable, fighting in a more cerebral way. He's eliminated some of the flaws in his style while keeping some of the strengths, you know, like keeping the strength. So for me, it's made him an even more difficult guy to deal with. And he was a difficult guy to deal with even with the flaws. But now that you have these improvements in Fundora's game and Fundora's style, I think he becomes even more difficult to deal with.
Former champion turned analyst Chris Algieri echoed similar sentiments, praising Fundora's steady evolution since his lone career defeat. He noted that the Giant is finally utilizing his length and jab to control distance, turning his unique frame into an even tougher code to crack.
But Fundora is such a difficult puzzle. He's so long, and he's getting better. He's improving. He's learning how to use his size. He's using his jab. He's being more disciplined. He's not taking risks like he used to. Talk about a guy who used to allow people to hit him and then has figured out that you shouldn't do that at the highest level in that Brian Mendoza fight. But since then, he's been very good. So, yeah, I can understand why people would see him as the final guy because, again, with those physical advantages and the way that he's getting better, very.
Analyzing Fundora's relentless engine, Teddy Atlas broke down how the champion uses a non-stop lead hand to wear opponents down mentally and physically. He emphasized that Fundora's constant forward movement and volume punching create endless pressure, while still leaving his long frame exposed to returns.
How to fight tall a little bit better? He is, a little better, but still, he is coming after you behind that jab. He doesn't stop. I don't know what his punch numbers are. They got to go through the roof. I think he jabs in his sleep. I think that he's, like if you went in and you peeked in on him when he's sleeping like this with that southpaw jab. The jab, he's coming out of the locker room. I think when he's eating dinner. He never stops. He don't leave you alone. And he's coming forward. He's always putting pressure. He's breaking you down. And then he puts punches together nice. He goes to the body. He throws uppercuts. You know, he puts them together real well. But he's tall and he's a target.
Shifting to how the matchup plays out on the inside, Atlas believes Boots' elite accuracy will prove decisive against such a large target. He pointed out that Fundora's towering torso and past stoppage loss leave both his head and long midsection vulnerable to precise counterpunching.
He fights tall, it's a little tougher, but he's going to pressure because that's what he does. He's a fighter. And when he does, he is a target. He's a tall target. And is a sharpshooter. He'll find that target. And there's one other, and I'll leave it at that. Not only his head is a tall, and he's been knocked out once, we know that, but not only is his head a target, there's a tall, skinny body, lean body that's going to be a target for a guy who's a really good body puncher.
Former two-division champion Danny Garcia marvels at Fundora's freakish physical build, calling his massive frame and southpaw stance an absolute nightmare for anyone. He points out that the direct key to solving that rare size obstacle is smothering the champion and forcing the fight directly inside his chest.
But Fundora gives anybody problems. Just because he's 6'7", 154 pounds, southpaw. They made him in a lab somewhere. Where he's from? Where he's from? Texas, San Antonio? Huh? Who? Just gotta get up, get in his chest. No.
Sean Porter draws a sharp distinction between highlights on paper and the reality of facing a rare physical force. He notes that while Ennis looks unstoppable on screen, Fundora's unique attributes present an active threat capable of neutralizing those elite talents.
Let's just for the sake of the analogy, it's like you see, and we'll use Jamie Foxx as an example. That's my guy. So let's say there's one thing on screen, and then off screen, he's a completely different person. You just don't know, So on screen, Boots looks like he's supposed to beat Sebastian Fundora because he's so fast, because he's so electric, because he's shown tremendous power, because he's shown so many different movements and techniques, and everything jumps off the screen when it's Boots Ennis. But then when you got, like I always like to say, another weapon standing across from you, negating some of the things you do, forcing you to turn off some of the stuff you do.
Comparing the mental preparation on both sides, Porter questions whether Ennis's team relies too heavily on talent rather than tailoring a specific game plan. He believes Fundora's focused preparation for individual opponents makes him far more dangerous than people realize.
Now, here's the thing that makes this guy dangerous to Boots. What I feel I know about Boots, I don't know if they game plan. To me, it seems like Boots is like, and Dad Bozy, we just gonna get you ready. Can't nobody get you. Well, sometimes you gotta get ready for the guy across from you. And what I now know about this dude, he getting ready for who's across from him. And that's why I'm breathing like that, because I know without a shadow of a doubt, he's going to be ready, he's going to have the right weapons, and he's going to be calling on the right weapons all night long. I have no doubt about that from this dude right here.
Focusing on tactical execution, Porter emphasizes that having endless skills isn't enough unless Ennis selects the exact right tools for this specific opponent. He stresses that discipline and precise weapon selection will ultimately separate victory from defeat against a giant like Fundora.
And I know with all 16 plus weapons that Boots got, Boots be like this.
Yeah.
You gotta, nah, bruh. With this one right here, it's gotta be, all right, shotgun, don't. All right, stab him, all right, done. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta be pulling out the right things at the right time. We gotta be prepared to come to the ring with 8 weapons that we know we need against this dude. Not 16 weapons because we got 16. And to me, that's the difference between a Boots Ennis and a Sebastian Fundora.
Trainer Greg Hackett painted a vivid predator versus prey picture to describe the matchup's dynamic. He believes that once Ennis locks onto his tall target, it is only a matter of time before the relentless pressure completely takes over.
You ever see like when a tiger go after a giraffe and they be working him out? Even though he's tall, he be trying little shit, he be doing little shit, but it's just hard to get the motherfuckers off. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like a tiger and a giraffe. One of them things. Once Boots get him, he gonna get him.
Claressa Shields gave Ennis his full respect, framing him as the premier force at 154 pounds. While respecting Fundora's rare physical dimensions, she firmly believes Ennis possesses more than enough tools to handle the challenge.
Be fair, and give Boots his due. Right now at 154, he is the man. And a big challenge for him will be Fundora. Fundora is a big challenge for anybody because of how long he is in his height. But Boots has enough in his arsenal, I feel, to beat Fundora.
Offering a crucial word of caution, Shields pointed out that Ennis cannot afford the defensive lapses or balance issues he showed in past outings. She stressed that against a giant like Fundora, fighting smart and eliminating reckless mistakes will be the key to securing victory.
But he got to be very, very smart. He can't make the same mistake he made getting hit with that straight jab and that right against Zayas that he can't do that with Fundora. Cannot, will not, cannot do that. And also cannot do that while a little wobbly on my legs either. So that's the only thing he did wrong to me was fighting after that. Like him fighting on wobbly legs, should have moved around, jab, whatever. Be smart. So to me, he got an A+. It is.
Bernie the Boxer sees this as a razor-thin matchup, highlighting how Fundora bounced back mentally and strategically from a brutal knockout loss. He notes that rather than becoming timid, the champion evolved into a smarter operator, making this a true 50-50 fight.
But I'm saying that's a tough task. You know, I'm saying that man 6'6", you know, he boxing and you know, he didn't took that loss. And I feel like, you know, he didn't came back and he learned a lot. You know, it didn't ruin him, you know, because that was a bad knockout he took. But, you know, he's not gun shy, and he's boxing smarter. So, you know, that's why. So I would say that's a 50-50 fight. And I would favor him over everybody else.
Breaking down the inside action, Bernie noted that Fundora's comfort in trading up close makes him uniquely dangerous despite his length. However, he sees Ennis's explosive hand speed and inside uppercuts as the ultimate equalizer in what would be a massive, high-stakes unification.
Well, you know, he can fight on the inside too, though. Fundora can fight on the inside too. You know, and he's not afraid to mix it up. So, I mean, he's a challenge for anybody. But to see Boots break that range, and you know, but Boots got them fast twitch punches. The inside, he go to uppercut. Did you see they got caught with that uppercut? If he beat Fundora, it won't be undisputed, you know? Yeah. So, you know, that'll be the undisputed. So that'll be the high stakes. You know, that'll be everything because Fundora had that.
Sean Zittel favors Ennis in this matchup, pointing to his explosive power and overall higher level of dynamic skill. He anticipates a dramatic finish, predicting Ennis will secure a definitive knockout victory.
He's explosive, he's ferocious. It's a great fight. I think I give the edge to Ennis though, just because he's a little more talented and a little bit more dynamic.
You go knockout or decision?
Knockout.
Coach Breadman envisions a brutal, Hagler-Hearn-style firefight where Ennis must aggressively target Fundora's body to offset the towering height gap. He believes Ennis has the mean streak and relentless mentality required to step directly into the line of fire.
I think that I picked Boots to beat George. I think that Boots and Fundora is an absolute Hagler-Hearns type of shootout. I think Boots is mean as a rattlesnake. He's gonna have to step to Fundora. I don't know if his jab, especially to the head, will be that effective against a guy that's 6'6". So you have to jab him to his body a lot and kind of step to him. And I think he's with that. That's the kind of fighter he is.
Expecting an explosive start, Breadman predicts a high-intensity war that likely won't survive past 4 rounds. He highlights Fundora's deception as a fierce competitor with a giant heart, set up for a dangerous shootout where Ennis will have to earn every bit of the win.
I think that I think that will be an early round shootout. I think that will be the kind of fight that will end within 4 rounds, but it'll be a great fight because of both guys, man. Because Fundora looks like a schoolboy, but he's mean. And he's the guy that comes to get it with a big heart. So I think both of them are kind of like animals, and they will both be trying to end the fight very early. And I like Boots in the fight. But I definitely think it'll be a shootout. He will have to earn it.
Bomac views this as an even 50-50 battle, noting that Fundora has looked sharper and more dominant ever since his lone setback. He likens this matchup to the historic Four Kings era, where top-tier fighters continuously tested each other at the highest level.
I think it's a 50-50 across the board. You know, you look at Fundora with the range and the height he got. You know, even though he's been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those 2 or 3, you know, like the Four Kings, when they tangle. So we, you know, as boxer fans, we just sit back and wait.
Drawing parallels to legendary rivalries, Bomac compares the division's current landscape to Marvin Hagler clearing out Hall of Famers one after another. He stresses that with Ennis clearing major hurdles, fans are in store for a classic era of back-to-back mega fights.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the part that, like you said, just sit back and watch them, see how it all play out.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Boots, he got over that hurdle, a big hurdle, so it's on for the next one.
For sure.
That's like when Marvin Hagler beat Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, he's down there, and then now we got Sugar Ray Leonard next, or Roberto Duran next. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just sit back and wait.
This mega fight boils down to a classic clash of elite athleticism against overwhelming size, leaving the entire boxing world split down the middle. Will Boots' explosive speed and sharp counterpunching unravel the tall giant, or can Fundora's relentless length and inside engine grind out the ultimate upset? The debate is heating up, and every weapon in the ring will be tested to the limit. Who do you have winning this 154-pound war, and by what method? Drop your predictions and hot takes in the comments below.